Welcome to my getaway from the everyday. It's time to tour Chateau Shorthalt. Okay, let's start the tour. I really wanted to have some modern aspects to the build and also some of the aspects that they mentioned in the campaign. So for example, we have lots of marble, lots of dark woods, but then we still have these sort of neon colors, more modern pieces as well. So here in the entrance, you can see these purple marble pillars, which are custom made. I used the lightning pillar thingy, I think it's from Karesh, and then the gray one inside of it, and it ended up creating sort of this like purple / hot pink marbled look, and I'm really happy how they turned out. I think it's perfect to sort of have both of the styles together. I feel like it looks more so how it was on the show. I enjoy that. Here is Scanlan's mailbox. He gets fan mail, obviously. And in here we have this window and a seat, plants. The plants were shown on the show. He had like golden plants, but we obviously don't have that, so I ended up going with actual plants, and I used barrels. I sunk them down and then I just placed all the plants in there. I really like how it looks. And then on this side, since this is my home in Azeroth, I ended up placing some items that I would personally have in my home. This is Scanlan's home, but I live here, okay? So, and then of course I had to add his records, his gold records. It was very important for me to feature this in this build. And here is another reference for those who know goldfishes. Yeah, she's my favorite girl. The ceiling has this sort of feature. In the animated series, they showed the ceiling has like this oval shape to it and more like domed shape to it. I really tried to replicate that here as well, but it's very difficult when we don't really have that room shape. So I ended up making this like emerald shape, and then instead of the square box thing that they had in the animated series as well, I just added these crystals to bring some purple to it. And then these lines, I think the lines like in this carpet, for example, they were sort of supposed to resemble strings of like a lute or something, so I just kept these, but it's very difficult to get full on like thin stripes in this game, so I just did something a little bit different, but it still resembles the series. And then we have our Elec here. He's stuck in the aquarium. So I really like how this looks. It's supposed to be kind of weird. In the end, this like chateau or mansion is like a pocket dimension thing, so I just wanted to have some fun and make it look sort of weird and unreal, but Scanlan like, you know. I think next we'll go upstairs and we will go and see what we have here. These doors, unfortunately, they don't really lead anywhere because you can't have any rooms at this level and you can't have multiple doorways either currently. So unfortunately, I can't really make the Vox Machina member rooms here. Yeah, so I'll just explain quickly. I used an empty stairwell room. I have cut it in half. There's this line, that's basically where the second floor would start, but these stairs would be incredibly steep if they had to go up here. I wouldn't be able to have this platform here, so I thought that this was the best solution to that. I sort of have 2 levels in 1 level. I think it would be really cool if you could add multiple doors into builds, like on a wall, sort of like outside there's the little nodes. You could make like 3 doorways or 2 doorways or something on a wall, so that would have helped a lot with this build for sure. Here we have Talatath. There's no pictures of horses or Scanlan or Pike or anything like that in the game currently or probably ever, so this is what I went with. And also this is actually an exit. If you click here, you can get out of the house. There's a little door there hiding. I just wanted to have something close by because the floor plan of this build is crazy. I will show it to you. Okay, so here's the floor plan. It looks horrible, I know that. So here we have the entryway, and then we have a square room because I never know which way I want my builds to go. I just wanted to be extra safe and add 1 room here so that I could move, for example, this room to here if I wanted to, or you know, just move things around. And then I have this square room small, sorry, things are like in the way, but square room small, and this is here just because I needed to sink down a bunch of items from like the top floor. So this allows me to sink them down and not have issues with that. If I had built this on the first floor, I wouldn't have been able to make some of the custom things like the carpets or the planter pots and stuff. So that's why this is here. And then we have a stairwell just for me to get to the top floor. And then here we have the room. So then I've added just rooms to the sides here, just so I can have a window on this wall and this wall basically. And I had to sink some items like through the wall, or clip some items through the walls. That's why these rooms are here. And then here would be a dining hall if I'm going to build that. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. And then as you can see, this does have a third floor, but basically I'm not using it at all. I've just cut the room in a way in half. As you can see, here's like the platform, which is like halfway point of this one floor, and then here's the ceiling, which is basically the floor of this floor. So if that makes any sense. This is the second floor. There's just some custom door decoration sort of. This is a bench, and then I put a crystal in here just so it looks more glowy and cool. More of these pillars. I used the Valdraken fences in here. That cost a lot of gold and a lot of gathering as well, because I had to gather some lumber for this. This is just walls, and then the secret bookcase. Here you can see sort of how I try to make the roof like domed. Down here, I might as well also now mention this rug and also the lines up here. This is just a table that's been sized up to 200% and then sunk down to the floor. And then same with these, but they're just smaller. This is a round table that has been sunk down, and then I've just put the round carpets on top of it. That makes a custom carpet sort of. And then here, I just wanted to make a tiny little sort of bar slash chill out place. So here is their little bar. Here is his little book where he can write his songs. Here's a little song scroll thing, notes. And then here is his spice. Here is all of his other trinkets, drinks, all sorts of things. I thought this looked really cute, and I used one of the paintings, these sort of paintings or like glass, stained glass things, as a backdrop for the actual shelves. I really like how that looks. And then we have this sink, and then I sort of hid the sink in here because it's coming through there. I just added a little door to the shelves, or this sort of bar. And then this is I think it's Valdraken shipping box, possibly. I just made a little counter. So that's how I made this. And then we have his little writing desk. He can be writing music or whatever other things. Here is my favorite part of this entire build. That is Trinket. It's not a bear rug, okay? Don't be alarmed. It's not a bear rug. He's sleeping. He's taking a nap. He has his own little bed here, and here's his food. Let's pretend it's chicken, because that's all they have. Here's chicken as well. I made a little nook for Trinket. I think it's so cute. He has his little toys, and he's taking a nap. It's really cute. And then dragon head, obviously. Little fireplace. And here we have a song that he's written for someone, and it's being just kept safe here. It's in a tiny little prison cell, basically. That is, this room is just supposed to be this chill little area. I think it's really nice. And then through these doors, well, they open kind of funny right now. This would be the dining hall, and maybe eventually it will be, but I have to wait for more decor budget before I can do that, unfortunately. But yeah, that's pretty much the foyer right now. I really love how this turned out. I'm so inspired to actually make the rooms for every single member. I think there's so many great items in the game, and Midnight will add so many more. It will be so much fun to build, but for now, I just have this foyer. I really tried to incorporate some fun little Easter eggs and details that are from the show or the campaign. This is my way to appreciate the show and Critical Role, since, you know, their world building and storytelling is really beautiful and I appreciate them a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this tour. I'm going to be starting my new build, and I will catch you in the next one, which is actually a speed build of this build. Enjoy that, and happy building!